The title is what brought you here. So let's talk about it. Before we begin though, there's something missing. Just give me a minute. Not bad. In order to talk about why I'm starting YouTube in 2021, I want to take you guys back to 2020, although nobody really wants to go back there. But it's important that I start there. So I was in the UK and I was pursuing my MBA, which is Masters in Business Administration, from the University of Manchester. And I graduated in April 2020, and it wasn't the most ideal time to graduate because the world, as we know, was hit with the pandemic during that time, and it severely impaired my efforts to get into the UK job market, which meant that sadly in August 2020 I had to move back home as my visa was running out. Moving back home was good in a way because it was nice to come back to family and an incredible support system, but it was also a setback because I really wanted to start my life in the UK, and that was the purpose of doing my MBA in the first place. But so which meant that I wasn't in a very good space mentally and emotionally. So in my search for a burst of inspiration to stand up and start working towards my dreams again, I actually came across Matt Diavella's YouTube channel, which was full of very inspirational videos, and he spoke about minimalism and intentionalism. And interestingly, when I was watching his videos, I came across a recommended video. And the title of the video was How to Study Effectively. And there was a picture of an Indian guy with glasses. And the name of the creator was Ali Abdaal. And I was like, quite an intriguing title. Let's see what this is about. And I was blown away by this video because had I come across this video a lot earlier, my student life would have been a lot easier. The way that this video was made was so good that it actually sent me down a rabbit hole of looking into the channel and the rest of the videos on the channel of Ali Abdaal. And I was like, this guy's creating amazing content. He's basically living the life that I wanted to live. So low-key, I was hating him a little bit. But on another level, I was like, this is quite interesting. This is quite inspirational. This is probably what I wanted to watch at this moment of time. And then I came across this video, which was titled Three Books That Changed My Life. And one of those books that he recommended in that video was Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. And I decided to give it a shot. I said, okay, I'll buy this book on Kindle, on my Kindle app, on my iPad. And I started reading it. Show Your Work had its impact on me in the sense that there were some really good messages that I took away from the book. An important message that really propelled me to start a YouTube channel was to not look at the work that I was putting out there as meaningless and of no value. And that's the message that really propelled me to start this YouTube channel. There was another video that was posted by Matt Diavella about creating a bucket list. And because we all know that as human beings, we are to perish one day. And what are the things that you'd like to accomplish before you perish? And I decided to make a bucket list, and one of the things that I added there was to make a YouTube channel and to build an audience and a meaningful community around it. And I decided to put that into action as well. I was also exposed to a social media mogul through following these channels like Matt Diavella, Thomas Frank, Ali Abdaal. They all talk about Gary Vaynerchuk. There is a quote by Gary Vaynerchuk which all of these creators talk about. It just takes one piece of content to change your life. You just don't know what that is. That quote was another catalyst into putting myself out there. I also like the idea of adding value to the people who were watching my content. That I thought was a really good idea because I myself was benefiting from it through these creators. I also like the idea of creating a passive income channel. I'll leave a link to a podcast by Pat Flynn, who's like the guru on this topic. I really recommend that you should check out his podcast. I think you'll get some valuable lessons out of that. So now that I've stated the reasons as to why I started the YouTube channel, I also wanted to get into things that were stopping me from starting it. One of them was this idea of, oh God, what are my friends and family going to think? And it's so cringy to be an influencer because you don't want to be the kind of person who's like, guys, use this product because I'm using it and I'm so cool. And I didn't resonate with that thought and that picture. And then I had to school myself and I had to make myself understand that all influence is not cringy. Some influence is valuable and you can be a valuable influencer. And when you're going to start out your YouTube journey, nobody's really going to be watching your videos. So overcoming that barrier of what friends and family are really going to think was easier in that respect. I was also dealing with the idea that I'm not a professional. I'm a complete amateur. I mean, I don't have the fanciest equipment. I don't have a studio. There's nothing in terms of flair. My camera presence is not very good. So there were quite a lot of skills that I felt like I needed to have from the get-go. But then I also realized that through Austin Kleon's Show Your Work book, that being an amateur is not necessarily a bad thing. And starting out with what I have will be highly meaningful looking back at it from a year or 2 years. And I do have the kind of equipment and maybe a studio if I need it, if the channel grows to that extent. It's a great challenge to use the equipment that you have, and that's sort of the message that I'm trying to give through my YouTube channel, that you need to get the most out of your tech. So I'm trying to get the most out of the tech that I have. And because I knew that I wanted to talk about tech, because that's what I feel very passionately about, and then I looked at the tech YouTube market and I was like, it's so saturated. People have moved on from just making home videos to now really high production videos, and that's the standard. And I was like, I won't be able to live up to it. But then I told myself that, I can add my own twist to it. I can probably bring my personality into it. I may not necessarily be using the latest technology or the latest phone or the latest headphone. I could be reviewing the tech that I already have. Find an audience who resonates with it. Another aspect that I thought about before starting the YouTube channel was, in a year from now, if I had to look back, would I be happy or would I be unhappy with the decision? And I realized that I would be severely unhappy if I hadn't taken the plunge. So I realized that now that I'm not studying and now that I am currently actively looking for jobs, I do have this time frame where there is a significant amount of time that I can devote to creating YouTube videos. And I didn't want to go into the future, look back and say, Maryam, you didn't use that time properly. I didn't want to be in a regretful position. So if this experiment works out in a year or two, it'll be great for me. If it doesn't, at least I'll look back and say that I gave it a shot. My goal with this YouTube channel is divided into input and output. So my input goal is to produce one video every week for the next 2 years. And with each video that I produce per week, I aim to get better a little bit, maybe in terms of how I write my videos, how I review the product, maybe the A roll that I use, the B roll that I use, and then making it a point that I produce one video every week. The output goal is to get as many views as possible, but that's not something that's in my control. So I am trying to focus on things that are in my control, which are basically the input goals. Most importantly, I want to enjoy the journey. I want to be able to enjoy the process. I won't lie to you, I mean, it's not an easy thing. You know, speaking to a camera as though you're speaking to a person is a challenge. Scripting the video sometimes is a challenge, you know, to make it engaging and interesting. Editing is a is a nightmare sometimes, but I have to constantly remind myself that I have to enjoy the process. I have to enjoy this journey. And what my end goal with YouTube, with my YouTube channel is, I hope that in a year or two I become a lot better at reviewing products. I hope that I can definitely improve my camera presence. I hope I can get over the fear of what people might think, and you know, the haters, the dreaded haters on YouTube. Hoping to connect with a lot of like-minded people, people from all around the world. I hope to create a meaningful community through this YouTube channel. And most importantly, check a big item off my bucket list to create a YouTube channel and a meaningful community around it. So that's it. That's why I'm starting YouTube in 2021. If you're interested in checking out my tech reviews, I'll leave a link right here. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.